Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Deep Soul. Tonight, I want to ask you, what is your purpose? Where do you feel that life may be leading you? These questions and many more are needed to be answered in order to understand one's life, ourselves, and our souls. The artist that I have on tonight allows these questions to be answered in her faith, the roles that she plays, and the words that she writes. She is a Nashville actress and spoken word artist. Tonight, I present to you Shanté King, aka Embrace. All right, thank you everybody for being on, thank you for everybody watching, and thank you for being on my show. Hello.
Thank you. Hey,
We've known each other for a long time, a really long time. There are so many things I did not know about you, such as originally you wanted to be a teacher.
Yes.
How did that goal come in mind?
When I was a child.
Yeah.
You play make believe, and I was always the one that wanted to be a teacher. So I was, y'all sit down. I'm gonna be the teacher, and I was that. And so it started when I was a little kid, and so ever since I was little, I've always wanted to be a teacher. I think it was just the leadership in me, or the want to take over. I'm a Leo type mentality.
That Leo in charge type.
Maybe that was it. But I do like teaching. You know, as I got older, got to middle school, high school, and having to tutor people, namely in math, it actually was a rewarding feeling to me. So
it really got me when I found that out that you actually like math. I was like,
yes,
I don't do math.
Well, man, so let me tell you, it wasn't even until high school that I loved it in middle school too, because once I got to algebra, algebra seems so complicated when you look at it on a piece of paper.
It is.
It's so easy to know. Yeah. Like you just see this long problem on a page, but because I knew how to do that, I felt empowered, and I just wanted to do it more.
Different,
I was like, yes, I know how to do this.
Yeah, it gives you confidence, especially when nobody in the class understands it. It's just like only you. That's perfect.
And it was perfect. So then when I went to high school, I actually had a really great math teacher for trigonometry, and I think, what else did she teach me? I don't remember, but she was so good. I was just, in my head, I'm like, math is really not that hard. We just need some really good math teachers. Like, people know math, but they don't always know how to teach math. So
that's what it is.
Let me be a good math teacher, yes.
All right, so how did you go from being, wanting to be a math teacher to an actress?
So,
that's a big change.
As I also got older, I realized that I really wasn't ready to work with children for the rest of my life, you know? I will tutor you. There was a program that I worked for called the CEO program, which was a children's entrepreneurship opportunity for kids, and I tutored math there, and that was good enough for me. So this will happen when I was in college, and also as I was going further and further in college math, I was just like, I don't know if I really want to do this anymore.
Yeah, because it's kind of difficult when you get to college. But then you became an actress, and now you've worked in so many plays and so many different just people. One being one I love so much, Have Faith.
Yes.
Now that one was with Brooklyn Tankard.
Yes.
It had, please correct me, Gary Sturgis.
Teron Brooks.
Yes. And Teron, he was the actor in Them Temptations, my favorite movie.
Oh.
So how was it working alongside these people and being able to produce I feel like it's inspirational. So such an inspirational product. How was it?
It was amazing. I mean, you get to find out that these people are real, just like you're real.
Yeah.
You know, Teron was a absolute sweetheart. He just sat and he'll just tell you his heart, and that's what I did love about him. Yeah. He's very into his family, and he's also into God. And so to see how excited he was about doing this film, and I'm in this film too, I'm working alongside of you, I'm like, this is awesome. And Gary Sturgis and Brooklyn Tankard, she's a sweetheart as well.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
They all are super cool people, down to earth, and it just, like I said, it just shows the human side of them as actors.
All right, and we actually have a clip of that for our audience. Yes. So we're going to show a quick clip of this scene of her in Have Faith, and I hope you enjoy.
So anyway, enough about that. So why did the new custodian at the center flirt with me today?
Ooh, what did he say?
But did you hear me? He is the custodian.
Girl, bougie with a capital B.
So what are y'all saying? I won't give blue collar brothers a chance?
Yes.
Pretty much.
Just because a man calls me beautiful, blue or white collar, doesn't mean he gets to have all of this.
All right now.
I slick. I have not even, like, I looked at that, I was like, that's not Shanté. I loved it.
Thank you.
So along with that project, you also are, I'm sorry, I have a lot of my brain right now. You've worked with this, but you also done many other projects way
Yes.
before. How was it like trying to, as an actress, how is it like, trying to build up yourself in order to get that perfect role, get that perfect scene, just how do you prepare?
So how I prepare as an actress, first of all, I do a lot of reading. I watch other actors, you know, whether it's in a movie, whether it's on TV. I like to watch their interviews. I read plays. I don't just read books. I read the scripts as well. But when I'm getting into a character, I study the script. So I'm having to read the script for entertainment. I have to read the script from my point of view as my character, and then reading it aloud helps me to hear. And also, I have to create a story for my character based on what you have what's in the script, right? So you have a little bit of background information in the script, but then I also go outside the script and find out, who am I? What led me to the place that I am, as my character? What obstacles have I gone through in life? What was my childhood like? What were my relationships like growing up? And then that's how I start to develop my character and really, am able to be that person, whoever that is, and not be Shanté.
Do you sometimes have an emotional attachment to the characters that you may play?
I did for this one play that I did. It's called, what was it called? Chasing Jeremy.
Okay.
That was a little different for me, and I did that recently. And it took me a minute to get out of that character sometimes while I was in it, which it should always be that way, to be honest. If you're really, really in your role, then sometimes it's a little hard to get out of it. And so I found that one in particular it was a little difficult to come out of that. I mean, I was a mother of a 17-year-old boy who was murdered. And for most of the play, I had to be this, motherless child, or I'm sorry, not motherless child.
That's what that song.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
I love that song though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But no, it was tough to come out of that because there was so much grief, and then it was so close to reality because of all of the young black boys in particular that are dying today, whether at the hand of another young person or whether it's, hate crimes or anything like that. So.
All right, well, we're going to get more into that with Shanté when we come right back from our break. Thank you.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
All right, guys, welcome back to Deep Soul. Again, I have with me Miss Shanté. Now, we talked about your other works, but I also want to talk about when it comes to you finding a role, is it difficult trying to make sure it's not a role that's stereotypical or puts black women in a bad light?
Well, I don't find the roles. Typically, they find me. So I do try out for roles, and I try not to, go out for something that's typical or something that I've done before. I don't want to be typecast or anything like that. So I definitely try to look for things that I have not done before, and I definitely try to stay away from things that are not going to degrade women. However, if it's going to be a role that is somewhat degrading, so to speak, but it's to help in the end, you know what I mean? So I would do that. You know,
Is it
if it's
difficult
something-
as a woman and as an actress, excuse me, is it difficult trying to maintain or be true to yourself? Because some of these roles we have nowadays when it comes to, especially the local theater, I guess, it can be out of character of yourself. So
if I'm understanding your question right, so I'm going to answer it this way.
Okay.
When I first started acting hardcore, it was because I heard God will make room for your gifts. And I don't believe that he made room for my gifts for me to be put in these bad situations.
Right.
So let me just say this. The first movie that I've ever done, well, feature film, because I did do a short film before that for the 48-hour film fest and things like that. But the first feature film that I did, the director looked at my resume while I was in the audition, and he was like, you know, this is not a Christian movie, right? Just, you know, he was, I was glad that he even acknowledged it, you know? Because he was looking at all the work that I've done was all
like
faith-based, pretty much, yeah. So I was like, yeah, I know. But the role that I was going out for, I was like, this is pretty cool. But the movie overall, no, it wasn't a faith-based film. So he was like, okay, I just want to make sure you know. So I was like, okay, cool. And so, of course, when I told people about the movie, I'm like, I'm not in the bad parts, though. But I'm not in the bad parts. But I will say this. Like I said, God will make room for your gifts, right? So that same director, he totally did this whole 180 thing. And he does faith-based film now.
Oh, wow.
Faith-based films now.
Wow,
So have faith is actually from him. So instead of me having to go and audition for this show, he pretty much wrote the script, and he said the Holy Spirit cast. He said that the Holy Spirit casted this movie for him, and so right.
I like
and
it.
So actually, he called me. You know, hey, I got this role that I want you to play, and yada yada yada. He gave me his testimony, and it was like I was supposed to be in that other movie, or else I probably wouldn't have been in Have Faith, and I'm glad that I was.
it all set up. It's all worked out.
Setup.
It all worked out. I like it.
He set me up. No.
All right. So also I want to talk about. Now you are a faith-based actress. Is that
I am
correct?
a faith-based person.
Person. So your acting roles don't necessarily have to be faith-based.
Everything that I've done haven't always been faith-based, but it's not, again, we go back to the degrading. I'm not going to do something that's, to me, degrading, because I do have a child, and I do have people looking up to me, and I don't want to be in the light as this tainted image either. But at the same time, I know that everything I do is not going to be like a faith-based play or film or whatnot.
Okay. So my question is, what is your advice to these young actresses that feel like they might need to step outside of themselves in order to get a role?
Step outside themselves, as in to step down from their standards or their moral values.
Or even the values.
Don't do it. I wouldn't. I mean,
it's not worth it for a role.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it. You don't have to stoop down to any level. Keep your standards as a person as you are, even as an actress or an actor. You don't have to step outside yourself. I mean, I have cursed, and that's not really me, but I have used profanity. But I'm not gonna have any nudity scenes and things like that. Again, I have people watching, and my goal is not to be just the most famous person to make all the money. I want to make a difference. You know what I mean? Like, that's yes, this is my passion. Yes, this is my purpose. Yes, this is what I love to do. But at the end of the day, am I helping someone or am I hindering someone?
And that's with both your roles and your spoken word.
Absolutely.
I like speaking word.
Yeah.
The spoken word, both of them, your audience, you want them to gain something. You want them to be able to understand that there is a learning lesson with everything you do.
Yes.
So let's go into.
So I would just one more. I just wanted to say I wanted to be more specific. I would tell the person to just stay true to yourself. That's the main thing. That's the advice that I would give them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to your spoken word, because you're also a spoken word artist. First of all, talk about your name. It's Embrace, and it's not like EM. It's Embrace.
Yes. Capital M, capital B, Race.
How did that come about?
There's a little story behind that. So I was actually in a show. I'll try to make this short and quick. I was in a play earlier this year, and my director asked me, what do you go by when you do your spoken word? And I'm like, I've been searching for a name. I don't know, because whatever it is going to follow me for the rest of my life, and I don't even know what it is, and I'm praying about it, and I don't know. So he's all calm. Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. I'm gonna sleep on it. I'm good with these things. I'm gonna pray about it. I'm gonna get you something. Right? So he came one day. He's just like, I prayed about this thing. I told you. And he told me, how to spell it and da-da-da. So I was like, okay. So as he started to explain to me, about I'm biracial. So that's where the biracial, biracial. But also embracing the art. And this is more so me now. Like, I took what he gave me, and then I started to really dig deep because, of course, I wasn't just going, oh, yeah, that's good. I said, let me pray on it now. And let me see if this is for me, And sure enough, I was like, I love it. I can dig this.
It does fit you.
Yeah, but I'm a very affectionate person, first of all, so I love to embrace people.
Yeah.
I don't discriminate for anyone. I love people in general. I love almost love. Well, I don't love everything. I don't love bad stuff, darkness, whatever.
Yeah.
But as far as just embracing who you are, embracing other people, and embracing your gifts, it's so much out of that. So as I'm just listening, I'm just making this long list of what you should need to be embracing, and I'm like, wow, that's it. That's me.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be right back with some spoken word from Embrace.
Hey.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
El que San Jude no cobra ni un centavo para nosotros significa quitarnos todo ese estrés, esa preocupación y podernos enfocar en nuestra hija.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When St. Jude told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow. They pretty much have saved us.
It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders, and now your focus is supporting this child.
There is not another hospital like St. Jude. The patient care is unmatchable. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
I am a woman. Although she seems important, she was invisible. Equal opportunities perpetually forfeited with every drop of testosterone she didn't possess. Frail hands doing the same job, but she was paid less. For some ambiguous reason, her attempts to success are insufficient with her finesse. Mental capabilities no less. Maybe it's in her scent. Caressed, zestfully keen, transparency, clearly a breadwinner, creator of a legacy, the epitome of a woman whose breast protrudes too far out to be in a position of presidency. It's plain, you see. I am not a feminist, but I am a woman. It's plain I see prejudices all around me, preconceived notions about adequacy. Women were built for more than just having babies, though birth is our specialty. It says a lot about our capabilities. First trimester, conception, ideas formulated, pushing past the morning sickness, nesting behavior kicks in, preparing a place, organizing and making room, clearing out the old for the new. Trimester 2. Your baby is growing quickly. The heart of your vision is ticking, seen clearly through lubricated lenses when you find out the sex's remarks to abort your inventions, your visions, decisions to create dissensions, designed to exalt hymns, leaving hers to him. Stitched lips so you won't offend. But still she persisted. But you build fences just so elections won't trump the call. The calling on your life, funds available to build walls, keeping women alienated, contracts negotiated, the idea to train women to stay domesticated while men are stimulated to be delegated to repudiate what was created out of him. Excuse me while I regurgitated, I'm not that prim. I am not a feminist, but I am definitely a woman. Getting closer to that last stage of pregnancy, trimester 3. Your core is stretching and hardening. Intimate moments with your baby as it's moving in the right direction. You're being tested. Trials and tribulations, kicks, turns, and moves. Though painful, they're indicators you still have life in you, almost ready to be birthed. The closer you get, the heavier the load and the more it hurts. But you stand strong, woman. because you've come too far. God called you just like he called the moon and the stars. So shine bright like a diamond. It's necessary to have scars. How a rapper needs bars to fill the melodic gapes of your memoirs. Telling stories of when. Telling stories of when you were 10 and thought it'd be cool to separate adjoining twins or use your knowledge of arithmetic to be a mathematician or an engineer. Let's switch gears. God created you in his image and in his likeness. Genesis 1:27-28 says, "In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. And God blessed them. And God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth." So in essence, God gave them dominion. So listen, ladies. We don't have to walk around here like divas with big egos or freakum dresses on, sporting a halo that don't fit, partition split between lady and ratchet, talking like you're flawless, or I woke up like this, busting in the club singing, "We likes to party, hey," drunk in love. Creating invitations to a broken-hearted girl, haunted with resentment, kissing chicks, stutting it out, "If I were a boy." Partner, let me upgrade you and fill you in on women who you can identify with. Deborah the wisest, who in the Bible was a prophetess, a wife, a warrior, a woman, a judge, a ruler over Israel, raised up by God to deliver his people. Miriam, a leader during the time of Moses. Mary, the mother of Jesus, a pure virgin. Rahab, though flawed with scarlet, was an instrument in claiming the promised land, remembered for her faith. Ruth, a sacrificial attitude in dark times. She built a good reputation. Esther risked her life to save so many others. Humble, stood out without being abrasive. Lydia, a successful businesswoman who cared for others spiritually and physically. She spread the gospel, the first in Europe to convert to Christianity. I can go on and on and on, so it's plain you see. I am not a feminist, but I am a woman. So it's plain you see, there are so many great women all around me. So it's plain you see, you are the great women around me. So stand proudly with poise, confidence, integrity, and go build your legacy and help your sister build hers too. I am a woman. Good enough. Who says I'm not good enough? The eyes of a young boy with a book in front of his crotch? The dying dandelion whose white wings carry my hope? How do I know what to wish for when I don't know the way to go? Maybe it's the gold at the end of the rainbow, but then again, who says there's an end? Marred reasons, it could be. It could be the tight grip of life, the massively large earrings, the mirror staring back at me, the Bible verses that says I'm like Eve, deceived, bruised, ruined my destiny, grown men pursuing, offering a way of life to crack codes, and maybe if I cooperate, they won't call me crazy. Dazing off in the distance is my drug, transporting me out of this world I dug. Integrity slung, no air in my lungs, each character rubbed the wrong way. And he tells me, baby, everything will be okay. Is this my fate? Dark light blinding, souls binding with each tender finding, too young and too immature for this rhyming, wrong rhythm, too fickle, heart brittle, breaking easy. I'm a baby, please pass the tissue. Tears are falling like thistles, burning and piercing, Band-Aids hiding wounds, blood flow too soon. I gotta go to school, but Mr. so close. Whisker kisses between my thighs, I became his stool. Fearful heart flutters, loud pulse, veins cluttered. Imagine this young child drowning. Too dilapidated to even mutter, words lost in the night. Afraid she'll never meet her knight, because if she does, her dress won't be quite right. More like off-white, because her scars have become parasites, sucking her life and her home. Body sewn, identity unknown, foaming at the mouth and dreams, nightmares to be awakened alone. Could this be? A genocide of the innocents? Since it seems to fit in a pedophile's belt nicks, lipstick growing out, bigger hips, full lips, mouth flip, you think you grown, sharp nails, acetone, you wearing that rhinestone red bone, don't need silicone. Who says you're not good enough? Who said that your ashes couldn't be traded in? Better yet, who didn't tell you you're a diamond? Yeah, I know it was rough. Couldn't tell mom, and dad wasn't there, forced to wear every burden, no prayer. And now you're mad at the world, causing self-infliction. But little do you know, girl, you're a pearl. Don't fight the maker. He doesn't make mistakes. You're handcrafted, God's perfect DNA, God's masterpiece, the perfect shape. It's mind-boggling, I'd say. How he can make something so beautiful that falls in love with shame. But who do you blame? The absentee father? The overprotective mother who didn't see the signs? Or perhaps the older guy who goes after the younger kind, never convicted of the crime because she let him in? Thinking it was her fault, so she hid his sin and his grin. To this day is frightening, moving like lightning, striking every area of her life, a mental crisis, building walls so thick that there's no room for even God to fit in, and still you're trying to fit in. Social wings reversed into a cocoon closed in, fake smiles, barely a chuckle, so serious, and then something miraculous happens. Your once shaken ship that was held captive is now in the hands of the master, taking control of your life by dying to get a new life, happily ever after. Do I hear laughter? Only God can give such joy. Only God can fill those voids. It is he who speaks in your every situation, wrapping you in his arms, so loving in his greatness. Exceeds all expectations. His love for you is patient. It is kind, does not envy, does not boast. It is not proud, and it will not seek to serve itself as so many have with you. Love always preserves, always hopes, always protects. Real love will never leave you. It will never mislead you, but it will, however, receive you. So receive love. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Shanté, for being on my show. It's honestly, I was just impacted by those spoken words. And now you have 2 plays coming out. You have one coming out in December and one coming out in the first week of November. Can you talk about that right quick?
Yeah, so actually I have one in November that is the second week of November, possibly the 3rd, but I know the second week for sure. It's going to be at Manna from Heaven. It's called In the Pastor's Shadow. I am playing the lead female role as the pastor's wife. So definitely, I'll post it on social media, shantémking.com. You can check me out on my website. But as far as for the shows, I do have it on Facebook. So again, look me up. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. So the one in December is at Fourth Story Theater on West End. And it is a really interesting show. I really like this one. It's different for me. I'm actually playing 2 roles in this one. It's based on a true story, actually. It's called Jim and Jesse. And again, really great show. You should definitely come out and see it.
Well, thank you, everybody, for being a part of my show. Thank you, Shanté, for being a part of my show. And again, like I always say, keep it soulful. Until next time, thank you.